In our headlines on this Friday, January 10th, here in South Korea, secrecy over the timing of the second arrest attempt against the president is escalating the overall sense of apprehension in and around President Suk Yeol's official residence as protesters for and against his impeachment continue to crowd the neighborhood. Meanwhile, over in Las Vegas, both Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics won a series of innovation awards at this year's Consumer Electronics Show, as well as at many of their global counterparts who sought to share creative solutions to universal questions. Staying in the U.S., harrowing scenes of destruction in the Los Angeles area have prompted much disbelief and dismay as raging wildfires continue to engulf homes amid reports of at least 10 losses of lives and tens of thousands of evacuations. We start yet again at President Yoon Suk Yeol's residential area amid rampant speculation about the timing of the next arrest attempt by anti-corruption investigators and police officials. For more on this, our correspondent Shin Ha-young joins me live. Ha-young, like we've said before, authorities have vowed to undertake their second arrest attempt as if it were their last, triggering talk about a more forceful confrontation with the president's security personnel. What more, Ha-young, can you tell us?
Well, Sunny, today marks the fourth day since a new arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk Yeol was issued. And there hasn't been any significant movement yet, but with the second attempt to execute the arrest warrant expected soon, the Presidential Security Service has reinforced the residence with vehicle barriers and barbed wire fencing. And the CIO and police are reportedly working together to finalize their strategy, with the CIO official saying that it was still coordinating with police on the timing and method of the arrest. And speaking of the timing, the CIO has not revealed the period of validity of the second arrest warrant, but some media outlets suggest it might be longer than the previous one's 7 days, with some even speculating it could be for about 3 weeks until the end of the Lunar New Year holidays. However, the investigators hesitated to confirm anything regarding the validity period.
Right, I see. Meanwhile, Hai, what's the latest with regard to the summons served to the president's security team for questioning over possible obstruction of justice?
Well, Sunny, Park Jong-jun, the chief of the Presidential Security Service, appeared for police questioning today at 10 a.m. And this comes after he had twice refused to comply with the police order to present himself for interrogation over allegation that he ordered a security official to block the CIO from executing the first warrant to arrest President Yoon Suk Yeol last week. And the police had even considered seeking an arrest warrant if he failed to show up today. And as he arrived, Park stated that the investigation should proceed in a manner that respects the status of a sitting president. Take a listen.
I don't believe the current arrest warrant execution process is appropriate. I hope the investigation is conducted in a manner appropriate for the president, aligning with the dignity of our country.
And by the way, we're just now learning that acting President Choi Sang-mok has accepted resignation of Park Jong-jun. And meanwhile, the police are also rolling up their sleeves for a second attempt. The National Police Agency yesterday sent a document to investigation units in the metropolitan area ordering the mobilization of investigators. And today, officers convened a meeting of field commanders to discuss planning for the second arrest attempt. And these include mobile detective divisions and teams handling espionage, anti-corruption cases, and drug investigations. And the police plan is to deploy a large team of experienced officers to outnumber the Presidential Security Service. And in the first arrest attempt, around 120 officers were deployed, and this time the number is expected to reach about 1,000.
Right, 1,000 authorities then. Meanwhile, back on site, I see rallies are gathering bigger crowds as we head into the weekend.
Well, right, Sunny. As you can see behind me, despite the freezing weather, rallies for and against impeachment for President Yoon Suk Yeol are ongoing. And the extreme cold has kept the crowds small this morning, but more people gathered as the day went on. And with temperatures falling below zero, participants are bundled up in thick coats and blankets, drinking hot tea to stay warm. And anti-Yoon protesters are demanding the arrest warrant be executed quickly, while near whereby Yoon supporters are making their voices heard, calling for the impeachment to be overturned and the arrest stopped. And that's all I have for this hour, but I'll bring more updates in our later newscast. Sunny?
All right, then. Thank you for being our ears and eyes on the ground, Hayoung, and to the rest of our team out there with her braving the frigid conditions. Moving on, then, President Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment trial officially begins next Tuesday, that is January 14th, at the Constitutional Court. And whether or not he will be there in person remains unclear. Our Oh Soo-young reports.
President Yoon Suk Yeol has not disclosed whether he will attend this first impeachment trial hearing at the Constitutional Court on Tuesday. Court press officer Chun Jae-yeon said Friday that Yoon's legal team has not yet clarified the president's attendance. Yoon's lawyers have said that the president himself will speak before the court, but they have not yet decided whether he will attend the first trial hearing on Tuesday. When he does show up, the prosecutor-turned-president will become the first South Korean leader to defend himself against impeachment here at the Constitutional Court. His attorney Yoon Guk said the day before that various issues concerning the court's proceedings would have to be resolved to a certain extent before the president would make a court appearance. It seems precautions are being taken all the same. On Friday morning, the court announced it will stop distributing on-site tickets for members of the public wishing to observe the impeachment hearing. It explained in a press release that the measure is to ensure public safety due to severe congestion caused by pro- and anti-impeachment rallies near the main entrance. However, online viewing is still available through a lottery system. According to officials, court staff have discussed security details ahead of the high-profile hearing, but could not confirm whether they had consulted with the Presidential Security Service. In the meantime, justices will continue to examine crucial evidence as they prepare for the hearing over the weekend. Chun said the 8-member bench held a meeting to discuss the admissibility and organization of the submitted evidence so far. These are believed to include investigation records from the National Police Agency, the Defense Ministry's Prosecutor's Office, and the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office. The National Assembly side had earlier requested the court to secure probe materials related to Yoon's declaration of emergency martial law last month. The press officer added that Yoon's side had not submitted further written evidence or material other than applying for another power of attorney for former Judge Cha Gi-hwan, taking the number of the president's legal team to 8 representatives. The team has complained about the speed of the trial hearings and the scheduling of multiple hearing dates without consultation. Also, they have argued fiercely against National Assembly panel's decision to remove insurrection charges from the main grounds for impeachment, saying that retracting the core reason cited in the Assembly's impeachment resolution defeats the purpose of holding the trial. Justices have comprehensively reviewed the matter, according to the press officer, and discussed the direction of the trial hearings. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
Acting President Choi Sang-mok and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres spoke on the phone on this Friday local time amid the political uncertainty here at home. Choi assured the UN leader about his commitment to governance and to diplomacy, while Guterres voiced confidence in Korea's democratic resilience. The UN leader also conveyed his condolences to the family and friends of the victims of the Jeju Air crash at Muan International Airport in late December. Choi, for his part, stressed that Seoul remains committed to global peace and prosperity amid its roles in the UN Security Council, the Economic Social Council, and the Human Rights Council. Top diplomats from South Korea and Japan are scheduled to meet next week. According to the Foreign Ministry here, Minister Cho Tae-yeol and his Japanese counterpart Takeshi Iwaya will meet in capital Seoul Monday afternoon. On the agenda are bilateral ties as well as the trilateral security partnership with the U.S. The upcoming bilateral meeting is the first since the brief imposition of martial law here in South Korea on December 3rd. Ukraine's counter-offensive against Russian invasion looks to mark its 3rd year next month, and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is now requesting troop assistance from his allies. Our Lee Seung-jae explains.
The near 3-year-old Ukraine war has taken a toll on troops from both sides. With North Korea deploying its troops to Russia, Ukraine is now requesting troop assistance from its Western allies. Speaking at Ramstein U.S. Air Force Base in Germany on Thursday, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelenskyy said Kyiv's goal is to find as many means as possible to force peace on Russia, adding that deploying troops from ally nations may be the best option. Zelenskyy added that France had proposed the idea last year, calling for more practical efforts to make it possible. Zelenskyy did not specify whether the troops he is requesting are combat troops or peacekeeping forces. Meanwhile, during an interview with a U.S. podcast on Sunday, the Ukrainian president said that 12,000 North Korean troops have been deployed so far to Russia's Kursk region, with nearly 4,000 being killed or injured so far. While it may not be direct troop assistance, the United States continues to provide Ukraine with financial assistance. Washington is set to provide Ukraine with $500 million in additional weapons and equipment from its existing military stockpiles in what will be the final military aid package before President Joe Biden leaves office.
We must not let up, and that's why I'm announcing today another presidential drawdown authority package valued at $500 million. It includes additional missiles for Ukrainian air defense, more ammunition, more air-to-ground munitions, and other equipment to support Ukraine's F-16s.
Meanwhile, more than 12,300 civilians have been killed in the Ukraine war since Russia's invasion in February 2022. According to United Nations Deputy Human Rights Chief Nada al-Nashif on Wednesday, there's also been a notable spike in casualties due to the use of drones, long-range missiles, and glide bombs. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, harrowing scenes of destruction in the Los Angeles area have prompted much disbelief and dismay as raging wildfires continue to engulf homes and more. Our Kim Jung-sil covers the calamity there.
Several wildfires fueled by dry conditions and strong winds are raging across the Los Angeles area. The devastation has already claimed at least 10 lives and destroyed thousands of buildings. Evacuation orders have forced nearly 180,000 residents to flee their homes. Among the most destructive is the massive Palisades fire, which has scorched more than 17,000 acres since erupting on Tuesday, driven by hurricane-force winds.
As soon as I opened my door, it was like right there, and then the first thing I did was looked at the trees to see where the wind was blowing, because it hit me, it blew me back.
The fires have wreaked havoc on several communities, especially in coastal neighborhoods where residents are grappling with widespread destruction.
Obviously, the house across the street just unfortunately burned down, and 4 houses down, so it's been definitely a rough ride for the community over the past few days.
Fire Chief Christine Crawley highlighted the fire's catastrophic impact.
It is safe to say that the Palisades fire is one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles.
Recognizing the scale of destruction, U.S. President Joe Biden pledged the federal government will cover 100% of disaster response costs for 6 months, up from 75%. The fires have destroyed homes of celebrities like Billy Crystal and Paris Hilton, and even postponed the Oscar nominations, now delayed by 2 days. The U.S. government's 5th National Climate Assessment links the growing intensity and frequency of California wildfires to climate change, citing intensified droughts and increased fuel buildup. Experts warn that without significant action, such disasters will only grow more severe in the years to come. Kim Jung-sil, Arirang News.
Acting President Choi Sang-mok has vowed vigilance in maintaining economic stability. Remarks to this end were shared during the F4 meeting with top finance officials earlier on this Friday, during which he urged for continued monitoring of risk factors both at home and abroad, despite the recent easing of market volatility. This latest gathering marks the second macroeconomic meeting that he has led, following the first meeting last Friday. The United Nations believes the South Korean economy will expand 2.2% in 2025. Now, this is according to a report released on this Thursday by its Department of Economic and Social Affairs, which claims robust shipments of semiconductors overseas will keep Korea's growth momentum strong. This projection stands higher than the Korean government's outlook of 1.8% for this year. With regard to inflation, the organization sees consumer prices in the country hovering on the 1% range. Up next, we share with you the innovations that garnered some of the most enthusiastic applause at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Our correspondent Moon Hae-ryun files this report from the event.
Among the incredible tech on display at CES 2025, the CTA draws attention to a select few lauded for their excellence in design and engineering through the CES Innovation Awards. LG Electronics made a remarkable showing at CES 2025, securing 3 Best of Innovation awards. Leading the accolades was LG's OLED TV, and this marks the 3rd consecutive year that this product's line has earned the Best of Innovation award and an unprecedented 13 consecutive years of CES Innovation Awards. In the gaming category, the LG UltraGear OLED gaming monitor was a standout, clinching the Best of Innovation award. The curve of the monitor fits the curved angle of the human eyeball, meaning that there is no distortion of the video on the screen perceived by our eyes. And another South Korean tech giant, Samsung Electronics, emerged as a standout at CES 2025, receiving CES Innovation Awards across a range of categories, including video displays, home appliances, and mobile devices. Samsung's dominance in the video display category continues with 3 Best of Innovation honors as its 2025 lineup of TVs, monitors, and related services underscored its leadership in cutting-edge display technology, while the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro also claimed a Best of Innovation award in the mobile category. Sony, as a renowned audio and display powerhouse, was honored with 2 Best of Innovation awards for its flagship theater speakers and its XR head-mounted display and controller. The display is part of its groundbreaking spatial content creation system that targets creators in entertainment and industrial design by harnessing Sony's imaging, sensing, and display technologies to capture real-world elements. It may look like a lot of headsets currently on the market, but it contains a number of elements that enable seamless creation.
So, as you can see, this head-mount display is a flip-up. It can be flip-up, so if you want to go back to the display, you don't have to take it out all the time.
CES is a global stage for firms to launch upcoming tech for the first time, and this year there were some exciting reveals from a number of big names in tech. During the keynote opening speech, NVIDIA unveiled its new graphic processing unit chips for gamers, creators, and developers. The chipmaker and AI darling aims to give video games graphics that are film standard, enabling game developers to create more realistic human faces and environments all set with realistic imperfections. Part of the GeForce RTX 50 line is due to hit the shelves at the end of the month, with others available starting in February. After the reveal, NVIDIA's stocks rocketed to record highs, showing the level of anticipation for these chips. Samsung SDS launched a new extension of its Pretty Copilot software that utilizes generative AI to provide a service capable of recognizing and translating more than 3 languages simultaneously in real time. During a live demonstration, a Vietnamese employee asked a question in their native language, and moments later the question was translated into Korean. Currently, Pretty Copilot supports real-time voice recognition and subtitle translation for 10 languages and text translation for 15. The new update, coming in the following months, showcased at CES, enables the service to support real-time vocal translations, making it the first of its kind in the world. Hyundai Mobis, another South Korean firm, revealed its new holographic windshield display that aims to be on the market by 2028.
Normally, people think in consumer area, transparent display can be made by OLED and micro LED, but in automotive area, the environment is quite different.
This display is gaining attention because transparent holographic displays in cars face unique challenges: visibility under sunlight, adapting to the curved windshield, and durability in harsh conditions like high humidity, temperatures, and vibrations. With groundbreaking innovations and record-setting achievements, CES 2025 has once again set the stage for a thrilling glimpse into the future of technology. Moon Hae-ryun, Arirang News, Las Vegas.
And back on the local front, Korea's Museum of Contemporary Art played host to over 220,000 foreign visitors last year, its highest ever. Our Ian tells us why.
Amid increasing global interest in Korean art, the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art achieved a milestone in 2024, welcoming more than 220,000 foreign visitors. The record number of visitors was also driven in part by the increasing influx of international tourists to South Korea. The figure is a 6% increase compared to 2023 and a 36% rise compared to 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2024, the highest number of international visitors came from the U.S., accounting for around 27% of the total, followed by European countries at over 26%, China with nearly 20%, and then Japan and Southeast Asia. Let's hear what foreign visitors have to say about Korean arts and culture and what particularly impressed them.
We have a friend where we come from in the United States who is Korean and is an artist, a very successful artist, and she recommended specifically that we come here, and I think we like it very much.
I was very surprised actually by the cost. It's very affordable and very accessible to everyone, which I think is a really positive thing and very different from the States. Museums can be very expensive and very costly.
One of the standout exhibitions from last year, Back to the Future, at the Seoul branch, attracted 50,000 international visitors, showcasing contemporary Korean art and works collected from 2018 to 2022.
I came here also to experiment the Korean country in general, but also since I'm also working for a gallery, the idea for me was to look closer at what we could do with Korean art, what kind of collaboration we could do with the gallery that I'm working for.
The MMCA is also expanding internationally and plans more overseas exhibitions to showcase Korea's rich culture.
Last year, the museum held exhibitions in the United States and Taiwan, and this year it will expand further with exhibitions in Singapore, China, Japan, and Italy. The MMCA anticipates continued growth in its international presence in the years to come.
The increase in foreign visitors is also being attributed to efforts to enhance services for international audiences. Last February, the museum launched an English language newsletter and produced short-form content with English narration and subtitles. The museum also introduced Welcome to MNCA, an educational program for foreign residents, and established a foreign supporter program offering personalized services through social media in 20 languages. The English language newsletter will soon introduce a new section, in-depth interviews with Korean artists, to provide a closer look at Korean creators. Set to launch in March, this new content aims to bring Korean artists closer to a global audience. Lee Eun-hee, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. We begin with the state funeral for former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Hundreds of mourners, including 5 current and former U.S. presidents Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and others, gathered at the Washington National Cathedral on Thursday local time to honor his legacy. President Joe Biden, in his eulogy, described Carter as a man of character and faith who was dedicated to serving others and making a difference in the world. Following the state funeral, Carter's casket was transported to his hometown of Plains, Georgia, and a private service was held at the church where Carter was once a Sunday school teacher. He will be laid to rest in the family cemetery near his home beside his wife Rosalind Carter. President Biden designated the day as a national day of mourning, resulting in the closure of federal offices nationwide. The Polish government announced Thursday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will not face arrest if he attends the Auschwitz-Birkenau liberation commemoration later this month. An arrest warrant for Netanyahu was issued last year by the International Criminal Court over alleged war crimes during the Israel-Hamas war. As an ICC member, Poland is generally required to detain individuals with warrants against them. However, failure to do so does not carry specific penalties. Poland said previously it would enforce the arrest warrant, but President Andrzej Duda described the Auschwitz commemoration as an exceptional circumstance and made a request to ensure Netanyahu could attend without the risk of detention. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has responded to criticism from Elon Musk, saying he's more concerned with the billionaire's comments on German politics and support for the right-wing AfD part ahead of an election in February. Musk called Scholz a fool when Germany's coalition government collapsed in November, and later said only AfD can save Germany. Robert Habeck, Vice Chancellor and Minister for Economic Affairs, also issued a warning to Musk, urging the billionaire and close ally of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to refrain from interfering in German political affairs. Yoon Se-young, Arirang News.
The morning temperatures in Seoul have remained at around -10 degrees Celsius for 2 days in a row, and this cold stayed during the daytime today. Most areas have cold wave advisories in place, while cold wave warnings are being issued for inland areas of central parts of the country. Sporadic snowfall has continued on the west coast areas of the Jeollado provinces and on Jeju Island. Until tonight, heavy snow of around 1 to 3 centimeters per hour will be concentrated again around the west coast areas of the Jeollado provinces. Up to 20 centimeters of snow will also fall in the mountainous areas of Jeju Island, and up to 5 to 8 centimeters on the west coast parts of Chungcheongnam-do province and the Jeollado provinces. The extreme cold spell will continue tomorrow morning with Seoul, Daegu, and Gyeongju at -8 degrees. Daily highs will move up to 2 degrees in Daejeon, Busan 5 degrees. Temperatures will gradually rise from tomorrow afternoon. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world. Right, those are the headlines for now. Thank you for watching.